Hello and welcome to Taco CB and welcome back to another video here on the channel, and apologies for the delay in the next video, guys. I have been away for quite a few days and I've been very busy with a number of different things and actually quite frustrated, if I'm honest with you. A few times I've come to make a video and I've seen some news and it has been such a frustrating few weeks in the transfer window, particularly for Barcelona. There's been a lot of clubs who've been doing a lot of business. There's been setbacks for every club. You know, you look at Chelsea, who were going for Romelu Lukaku. They've been pipped now by Man United. He's going to be going there, and there's frustration there. But in terms of us, we have got nowhere in this window, absolutely nowhere, and it is such a huge sum for us. We need to make the right signings, the board need to make the right decisions, and right now, as we are, we're not doing enough. Pre-season is very nearly upon us. Valverde is going to want to get in his squad, putting them through the paces, trying to get them to play the way that he wants, and he's not got all the tools to work with yet. We're nowhere near signing a right back, which has been an absolute necessity, and of course, our pursuit with Verratti appears to have come to an end. So let's kick off with the transfer recap with that story. Marco Verratti came out yesterday in a video on PSG's website and on their Twitter feed, and in that video he was there in a PSG shirt, of course. He basically said that he was very happy at the club. He was apologising for comments made by his agent, who claimed that he was a prisoner at PSG. Verratti came out and said, "Those are not my views. I'm happy here. I apologise for those comments." But if you look at these pictures here, he doesn't look very happy, and that's what I would say. The video looked very forced. We know all about the PSG owner. He does like to keep the players where they are. The demands from him are insane, really. Doesn't really let anyone leave who wants to. Verratti has made it clear this summer that he wants to join Barcelona. Bartomeu, in an interview, also confirmed our interest in Verratti, but it does look like, for now at least, Verratti is staying at PSG. For me, the only thing now which can change this deal would be if Verratti really did show a lack of motivation, because Nasser Al-Khelaifi, the PSG owner, can keep the players where they are. He can demand that they stay. They're under contract at the end of the day. He does have that power. But what he can't do is control the way they act. Verratti is at the club. He is going to play for PSG, but he doesn't have to play at his best, and that's what I would say. If Verratti in training and possibly in matches, if it goes that far, if he really shows a lack of motivation, a lack of drive, they may be sort of reconsidering their stance on him. But I'm not really sure it'll come to that, and right now I would say Verratti is out of the picture. Sadly, it does not look as though we're going to sign him unless something significant happens. So very disappointing there. Then we went on to Dani Ceballos, who's the Real Betis midfielder, an attacking midfield player, 20 years old. He won the Best Player award at the recent Under-21 Championships. A very big talent. He has a very low release clause in his contract, around 15 million euros. He has announced to Real Betis that he will be leaving this summer, and there was a decision on where he was going. Was he going to go to Barcelona or was he going to go to Real Madrid? Now it does seem, according to Real Madrid media, particularly from Marca, they say Ceballos has decided to join Real Madrid this summer. If this is true, it's another kick in the teeth for us. It's another big disappointment, and for me, it's another failure from the board. A lot of people are saying, you know what, Ceballos isn't really the midfielder we need, not the right profile. Admittedly, we still do need a controlling midfield player, but there's no doubt that this guy's quality. He does have a lot of quality. He's a young talent, and if Real Madrid is signing him, if you look at the midfield options they've got, the likes of Modric, Kroos, Kovacic, you know, they've got some of the best midfielders in the world in that midfield. They're still signing a player, Isco as well, they're still signing a player to come into that midfield who maybe they might not need them, but they don't want him to join us. We should have that same attitude. He's there to be had. Let's try and sign him, particularly with the options that we've got in midfield, which is significantly worse than theirs are. Yet we could still fail to sign him. According to Marca, and again, Bartomeu, in that interview that I mentioned earlier, he did confirm our interest in Dani Ceballos. He said that we did want to sign him, and here we are now. According to Marca, Real Madrid are closing in on the signing. They will actually pay Betis more than the release clause. It could possibly be about 17-18 million euros. They might add a bit more on just to get their hands on Ceballos. That's nothing really, though. In the modern market, that's nothing money for a player his talent. That really isn't a lot at all. And now on to the really negative story. And the real poor standard of quality of our summer goes on to this. Guangzhou Evergrande in China have officially confirmed that they've rejected a bid from us for Paulinho. 20 million euros was offered for the Brazilian midfielder, so that's more than what we could be signing Dani Ceballos for. They've rejected that, and there are now even more reports in the Spanish media that we can actually return with a new bid of 25 million euros. Now, Paulinho has a 40 million release clause. Guangzhou have repeatedly said they will not sell him for anything less than that. If we end up paying that release clause, if we end up signing Paulinho, who knows? I have no idea what the board are doing. I have got no idea what this signing is supposed to prove. Number one, he's not Barca standard in terms of his quality. Number two, he does not even match the level of player that we need to come into that midfield. He doesn't fit the right profile in that midfield. Number three, why are we signing him for this amount of money, which is a lot for somebody who's at the tail end of their career anyway, and he's on big wages? I just cannot understand from any point of view why we're going for Paulinho. And it's actually real. This is not just reports, this is not just rumours. We made an official bid, and even then, we can't even get Paulinho. Another thing that happened over the past few days, Deulofeu has returned to the club. He came from Everton. We re-signed him for €12 million, activating our buyback clause. He'll sign a contract until 2019. His release clause, as of yet, is undecided. But it seems like he's going to come in. We sold Teo to Betis for €4 million, so it's a like-for-like swap. Really, Teo, of course, hasn't featured for the first team for a long time now, a number of years. But Deulofeu will come into that team, play as a substitute for Shaw for MSN, but he's got a chance to prove himself, to come back, to prove that he has the quality, and if he does improve his game, if he does come on a little bit, then he could well be knocking on the door for the first team if he really does up his level and up the consistency in his game and really show that he has the quality to succeed at Barcelona. That is yet to be decided, but I think €12 million in the modern market is not a bad deal. He'll improve our squad. Coming off the bench, he could have an impact. Not a bad signing at all. We've released Jeremy Mathieu, which we knew already. He's now gone on to sign for Sporting Lisbon. The funny fact from that transfer is that he actually has a €60 million release clause. Incredible, but Sporting Lisbon have decided after a trial period to sign Jeremy Mathieu. So that's another wage off the wage bill, which is important. I said this summer, one of the things we had to do was reduce that wage bill. We've got €4 million for Teo, which isn't too bad, apparently, though we wanted 10 in the beginning, so we've significantly lowered our demands there for Real Betis. And the problem is we've sold Teo to Betis for a cut price deal. Why did we then not talk about Ceballos, or at least get sort of a first buy option, or sort of include the one with the other deals? Nothing like that was done, and it seems now like Betis are going to go behind our back really and sell Ceballos to Real Madrid, and again another deal that we could possibly lose out on. Now, we talked about Verratti earlier. We said that it's probably unlikely now that he will join the club, so admittedly we are now looking at alternatives to that player. We need a guy in midfield who's going to control the game, who's going to set, who's going to happy to receive the ball, he's good on the ball. And one of those players that we mentioned earlier on this summer was Nice's Jean-Michel Seri, who's a centre midfielder who could possibly be on his way out of Nice this summer. Now, a few weeks ago, it was reported that he was very close to joining Roma. That has not gone through yet. And now, of course, with Verratti coming out in that video saying that he's happy at PSG, people are saying now, should we go back in for Seri? But the Nice coach today came out and said that absolutely no chance will Jean-Michel Seri leave the club this summer. Nice saying that they've already lost 4 key first-team players and that no more will be sold this summer. So interesting to see how that one develops. But it just does seem like this summer we've waited, we've put all our eggs in one basket with Verratti. We're nowhere near a right-back signing. We just seem to be sort of delaying our moves, and suddenly the options are getting less and less, and we need to make our move now. We need to decide on our targets, we need to go for them, we need to put the money on the table, and we need to get those players in training, into pre-season, and let Valverde work with them. We don't want to leave things too late. Not only do you end up paying more towards the end of the transfer window, there's also a lot less time for them to bed in and gel and understand the team and what they've been trying to do in pre-season. We've got a new manager. The thing we want to do now is get everybody into training and working under the same regime, understanding the way we've got to play ahead of a very important season for us. And finally, on that note, Valverde apparently has already selected the players from Barcelona B that he wants to count on for the coming season. They're reportedly the players that will come up and they will play and they will get a chance are the following: Ortola, the goalkeeper; Palencia, the right back; Marlon will get a chance in the first team; Cucurella, who's just renewed his contract, the left back, will get a chance. We saw Carlos Alena last season. He as well is selected by Valverde. And Vitinho, the Brazilian midfielder, attacking midfielder, whose signing has not yet been confirmed, but that is expected to go through in the next few days. So those players there, those 6 players that apparently Valverde is very keen on, he'll give them a chance in pre-season, and if he's impressed with them, he could take them on the tour of the United States, which is taking place later on this month. So let me know your thoughts, guys, because like I say, I've been very, very frustrated. I think we had a really high hopes of this summer. I was expecting some very, very big signings very, very early on. Bartomeu and Roberto Fernandes have consistently come out and they've said, we're going to sign big names, we're going to give you big signings. Where are they? What are you doing? Right back is a necessity. We're nowhere near our target there. Verratti now apparently is staying at PSG. What are we going to do now? Those are the questions that need to be answered, and they need to be answered very, very soon by the hierarchy at the club. They need to do something, and they need to do something fast. Get it done, get them in the team, get them in the pre-season training, and get ready for the season coming. That's so, so important. Leave your thoughts down below, guys. I will see you very, very soon. Like I said earlier, I apologise for the lack of videos of late, but I will be back regularly now with updates from the transfer window going forward. Let's hope there's some positive news coming up soon. We'll see you very, very soon. But until then, as always, Vasca el Barça.